Thanks for tuning in to the Urban Scope podcast. I'm back with another podcast about the NBA, of course. We just had the All Star weekend this past weekend, and a lot of people were, of course, you know, lost interest in the dunk competition or just felt underwhelmed by the dunk competition. But this has been the norm pretty much for like at least half a decade or so. And a lot of people are thinking maybe we should get rid of the dunk competition, but it's such a staple in the history of the NBA All Star weekend, and I remember growing up as a kid, the dunk competition was the thing I wanted to watch. That and of course the game itself, but of course the game has improved a little bit because they made it, the USA versus the world makes it a little bit interesting. But Jokic was out this past weekend, but he's really not an all star game type player. He's an all star for sure, but his just game is just kind of, you know, it's just very fundamental, so it's not exciting. It's like, for example, like a Tim Duncan playing an All Star game, so it's a little bit different. But nevertheless, he deserved to be there. Unfortunately, he was out with injury, but the dunk competition was such a staple. When you looked at guys back in the past, whether it be Michael Jordan or the Spud Webb, and then Dominique Wilkins, and then I love Jason Richardson. Vince Carter was my favorite dunker of all time in this dunk competition, and I had him ranked that way over Jordan and all those other guys because of his creativity and his jumping ability and just his versatility on all these things that he had. Um, but you don't have that anymore. You don't have the stars who participate in dunk competition, and a lot of people blame LeBron James for that because they said he set a trend of superstars not being able to do it because it felt like a rite of passage when Jordan would come into the league and he had to do the dunk competition, or when you had Vince Carter would come in. Even like Dwight Howard did the dunk competition and won a couple times, and guys like Nate Robinson. So it's been a lot of guys who I felt like if you had to ascend, you had to do that dunk competition, especially if you were considered a dunker. Even I think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was in a dunk competition. So it's been all kind of superstars have done a dunk competition, but now it seems that it's just a thing of the past. Like people just protecting their money because you can get injured doing anything. But it just doesn't seem make sense why people don't do the dunk competition because you can play it safe. You can do things like that. Jalen Brown did it a couple of years ago, which people criticized him being in the dunk competition, but at least he tried. That's all the fans want is people to at least try. Because if LeBron James does a dunk competition, he'll get points off just doing it because it's the excitement of LeBron James. We waited for him to do this dunk competition for probably 10 years before we finally gave up because we were like, he's not going to do it now after winning so many championships. It's over, and it's just a disgrace. But I don't think they need to abolish the dunk competition. I think what they need to do is simply incentivize the dunk competition, up the reward money, which these players make so much money, it might not matter anyway. But if you incentivize it, or if also you add some kind of different, perks into it, they have to figure out some other way to incentivize this thing because just having the trophy won't be enough. It's going to have to take players' money. They're going to have to take, maybe $20 million for the winner. And I'm pretty sure players will start doing it then because a lot of these players, especially those dunkers, man, feel like they're the best in the game. And if you put some of these players, which I'm about to mention, I'm pretty sure they will do it. Because like I said, $20 million is $20 million, $50 million is $50 million. So they'll definitely do it. Tax or not, they'll still do it because, like I said, they would consider that easy money, even if it's a runner up fee. They'll still do it. In addition to making their money on All Star Weekend, so if they incentivize it heavy, unfortunately, these players would do it, but it shouldn't take that much, but it does. So a list of stars that I wanted to see in this dunk competition that I think will change the game and set the trends for the new All Stars that'll want to do it. Um, will be these guys here. So LeBron James, of course, I talked about him before. Um, he's at the end of his career, but like I said, he can bring the views and excitement. He would definitely bring speculation and the media around the dunk competition if he does it, because I'm pretty sure he would do some creative things. He would have some kind of social. just this message attached to it. It will be a spectacle if he does it because everything he does is a spectacle, and he's still box office at the end of his career. So it would only make sense for LeBron James to go out with at least one dunk competition, and people would still want to see it because he still can fly, he still is athletic, and he still can bring the fans and excitement. So he's definitely still needed for a dunk competition, whether it's in year 22 or whatever, 23. He still can do it. And then of course Anthony Edwards, the most people consider the face of the league. He just won the All Star MVP. He has the Sprite deal. He has the sponsorships and endorsements. He's a fan favorite, even in Minnesota in a smaller market. He's very marketable. I don't think he wants that spot of being the face of the NBA, like you said before. But whether he wants to or not, he's what the youth look for in the game. He's very exciting. He has the hang time. He has the vertical leap. He has the excitement. He has the personality more so than anything else. He's one of the most outspoken NBA players and won't be PC about everything. And, owners and stuff might not like it, but the fans, we love that stuff because he shows his personality and he shows he's more relatable than most probably NBA players are because most of them are real buttoned up or very secretive about how they feel, except for, maybe a LeBron James and a few other players. But for the most part, you have a lot of Steph Curry's who are very, close to the vest and don't speak out as much and trying to keep everything close to home, which nothing is wrong with that. But then we like to see those players who are themselves as well. But I think Anthony Edwards would bring so much creativity and excitement to the dunk competition. And of course, he's just he's very marketable with his smile and the way he carries himself. He's very exciting to watch. This next player is pretty much in the same mold of Anthony Edwards a little bit. He's little bit less marketable over the last couple of years because of off the court transgressions and issues. But John Morant, he's very exciting to watch. One of the better point guards in the league right now. He might not be pass first all the time, but he definitely can pass the basketball. But his dunking ability will bring the crowd and the fans and excitement. And he has a outspoken personality as well. So he would definitely bring some kind of fun to the dunk competition again, especially for the youth that are looking up to him and looking up to guys like Anthony Edwards. These guys speak to the youth the most. He was supposed to be the face of the league, but I think being stuck in Memphis and then those off the court issues kind of pushed him back a little bit. I think he still has an opportunity to recover and become the face of the league, especially as a Nike athlete and in all these endorsements he still has. This dunk competition can recover that. It won't do it solely, but it will be a step forward in the process of him getting that spot back of the face of the league because LeBron James is we know he's leaving out. So it's only right that one of those superstars like Anthony Edwards or John Morant takes that spot. And we know John Morant is a highlight reel, especially at that point guard position. His leaping ability has been insane. So he definitely could benefit from the dunk competition and his brand. So that was a guy we could see. And another guy as well that could restore his brand from the dunk competition is none other than Zion Williamson, one of the most electrifying college basketball players I ever watched, one of my favorite to watch ever in college coming out of Duke. He's kind of in the same situation as Ja. His brand has kind of went down just because of the injuries and some off the court things that he had as well. But I think he can restore his brand from the dunk competition, even if he doesn't win. Just the excitement that he can bring and the creativity he has, and being such a bigger player, but he can get up like Charles Barkley could. It's just impressive to see, and his leaping ability and the way he could dunk and how powerful of a dunker he is. Because usually powerful dunkers are not encouraged in a dunk competition from a fan perspective, but for him, he's has so much creativity and power. So he probably has the power to dunk like a Shaq, but he also has the style and the grace of like a Vince Carter, which is very unique to have. And it defies the physics of being able to be a dunker and a leaper as well. So a lot of people don't expect that, but the way he can do a 360 and the way he can windmill and things like that is just impressive. And the way he goes at uh, taller players like a Wemby, he was going right at Wemby. He wasn't scared or fearful of anything. So he's probably one of the better dunkers in the league. But of course, with availability issues, it's been his problem over the last couple of years. So, and then honorable mention, I would have Donovan Mitchell. He's a very sneaky dunker, very has a great vertical leap. He's only about 6'2", 6'3", but he can dunk with the best of them, and I think he would be exciting in the dunk competition as well. Being able to being a shorter player, the dunks will look better, and then the degree of difficulty will look a lot impressive. So I think he's one of those dunkers that could definitely do it and bring back a dunk competition because his vertical leap is it's very sneaky. You don't think he could dunk the way he does, but he does. So I think he would be one. But they definitely need to set the trend because the 3-point contest has been the thing everybody's been watching on All Star Weekend. Not even the games as much. I didn't watch the game last weekend because I just thought it was going to be too much. But the 3-point shootout is what most people watch now, which has never went anywhere because I mean it's pretty the same premise and it's pretty safe. You don't really have to worry about injury as much or being on a solo stage as much because the dunk competition, everything is just out of the way and everybody's all eyes on you. Well, the 3-point shootout, the lights are pretty much out and you're shooting, and it's a different feeling. It seems like from TV view. But tell me what your thoughts are on the dunk competition. Until next time, I'll see you next time.